All right, so you and your ex are talking again, and that's great. That's excellent. I'm very proud of you for making this progress, and I know this is a huge milestone for a lot of people. However, you may experience some communication challenges that could cause you to plateau or stall out or just hit a wall where you're not making any progress. Today, we're going to be talking about what is the missing ingredient, what is the missing key to move beyond just surface level flat texting and move into actual meaningful conversation that is going to bring the two of you to a place where they really start to see a future with you, and you're not just some friendly person to chat with, but you're someone that they actually see a meaningful relationship with. Let's get into that. Getting back in contact with your ex after not talking to them for a period of time, either because you have intentionally chosen to do something like no contact, or because you've taken the time for yourself to heal and get in the right headspace and all that sort of stuff, or maybe the two of you have just been in contact this whole time, but it hasn't really been very meaningful. Now, this is something that I hear a lot, is that people will often have, they are talking, but it's really just surface level things. It's about, hey, how was your weekend? How was work? Did you see the thing that happened in the news? And it's like, okay, where is this going? I want to have something more substantial here. I want to have meat to sink my teeth into when it comes to an emotional connection. That's the way I am. That is probably the way you are as well, too. That's the way that a lot of people I talk to are. And so we want to make sure that we are building up the emotional connection with our partner this entire time. So this missing component is to build a meaningful emotional connection. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but you are going to probably have to stick your neck out there in order to get things started with the emotional connection. In order to expect vulnerability from somebody, you are, surprise, going to have to be vulnerable yourself, or at least be willing to be vulnerable yourself. Now, being vulnerable, of course, does not mean being weak, does not mean, whatever. I think we are at a point in our societal evolution where it is largely understood that vulnerability is a positive thing. It takes courage and all that sort of stuff, and it helps to build connection. There are a lot of people that I've spoken to who feel a certain sense of connection with me because I've, told stories on these videos, I've opened up and shared things about myself, etc. And so that is really all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you need to, express your deepest, darkest fear. You need to tell them every single weak point about you, all of your insecurities or anything like that, unless, of course, it's somehow meaningful to do so. But all you have to do is just be willing to open up and talk to them. This is very important in terms of building an emotional connection, and it also invites them to open up and share more with you about what is happening with them. When they see that you are invested in the conversation, when they see that you are willing to share, when they see that you are willing to open up and to share things with them that go beyond just, the everyday fluff of how was your day? Oh, it was fine, thanks. How are you? Oh, I'm good. It goes past all of that and it gets into deep, meaningful things. And when you are willing to get real, they many times will also be willing to get real as well too. And this then, of course, allows the two of you to start to get real together. This is where the two of you can start vibing at an incredibly deep level that allows more connection, more compatibility, more bonding, more everything to happen that's going to bring the two of you closer together. This is critically important if you want to have a meaningful relationship and really show them that, hey, we can get back together again, and this is going to be a positive experience. Because what are the other alternatives? I mean, you could just keep sitting here skimming the surface with surface level things, but hey, I think we all know that that's not going anywhere. You could try to resurrect the past by, talking about the good old days, and hey, you remember that time, 5 years ago when we went on a vacation or something? Wasn't that great? Oh, okay, great, but that was 5 years ago. I want to know what I'm getting into now. I want to know if I'm going to have a relationship now that's worthwhile. I want to know if this is worth my time now. You can't just be trying to resurrect and bring up the past. You have to be pulling them towards something that feels good in this moment, something that is meaningful now, something that is showing them now that there is something powerful that the two of you can have. I know that you can see something powerful in your connection and in your relationship with them, but we have to show them that there's something powerful and significant and meaningful just as well too. And the only way you're going to be able to do this is to show up 100%, have some vulnerability, and be willing to bring out what it is that you have to share, whether it's comfortable, whether it's uncomfortable, and all that. I mean, I know it would be preferable maybe to some people to just, sit there and not have to share their feelings and not have to risk rejection and not have to, risk looking silly or something like that, and to just send like little one-word text messages and have them pouring their heart and soul out to you or something. But that is unfortunately just not realistic. This is a two-way street. You have to be willing to show up as the person that you want them to be. You have to be willing to show up and put out that energy, put out that intention that says, hey, I'm willing to have this adult conversation with you. Are you willing to be an adult and have this with me? Hey, I'm willing to have this vulnerable conversation with you. Are you willing to be vulnerable with me? Hey, I'm willing to, behave with responsibility, authenticity, respect, and all that. Are you willing to do that with me? And you can't do that if you're trying to play it cool, hang back. Obviously, if you're trying to use reverse psychology or mind games, or, if every setback causes you to use the no contact rule, hey, look at that. Lo and behold, they shut down and pull back anytime there's some bump in the road as well too. I wonder why that is. Maybe you just have to start meeting them where you want them to be yourself, by embodying that quality yourself and have that be reflected back to you in the way that they show up as well too. Anyway, this is very important, but this is not the only thing that you need to worry about. Believe it or not, there's something very important. There is an elephant in the room that we need to discuss. There's some unfinished business between the two of you, and I want to talk about how you can clear that up right over here in this video. So please head on over there next, and I'll see you in that video.